Good day guys, welcome to my channel. Today we'll be talking about how capacitors can be charged and discharged. In my previous video, I talked about capacitors, the definition, and the types of capacitor. Like we know previously, capacitors are devices that are used to store charges. So let's start. How does this work? We have three capacitors. Then we have a resistor. We have L.E.D bulb. We have jumper cables. These are my jumper cables. These jumper cables are just used to convey current from one point of the breadboard to another. While this is my source. And of course, I'm using Arduino Uno because it has a 5 volts source there. Aside from the 5 volts, it has a ground. So this works. So the first thing you do, make your connections here. Let's say I insert this here. I make another insertion here. Please, let's take note of what this carefully. The first thing I'm trying to insert here is my resistor. Put the resistor here. I'm just going to get a good point for it. So if I get a good point for my resistor, I'll put my bulb here. Oh, okay, I can even do this here. I'll use the jumper cable later. Then I'll put my bulb here. Please watch, my bulb has 2 points. The longer side is the positive terminal, while the smaller side is negative. Remember, resistor is non-polarized. It doesn't have polarity. So you see that the long leg is actually the one entry here. But a capacitor is polarized. So if a capacitor is polarized, that shows that the capacitor, we have the long leg of the capacitor is the positive, while the short leg is called what? The negative terminal. So I can come here and put my capacitors in parallel. Remember, this leg is actually here. So this is my capacitor. So I'm going to insert this here. This is one. I want to connect capacitors of 300 microfarad. This is another. Insert this here. And this is a third capacitor. And we insert this here. Capacitors are just like a small batteries, or are just like small batteries that last for just a very short period of time. It depends on the value of the capacitors, and it depends on the resistor involved. Now look, this is a small resistor. So of course, we are going to include the resistor just to control the flow of charge in the circuit. So what we do here is, first, I just want to confirm if this connection, if the L.E.D bulb will light up. I am not using my jumper cable for now. So what I do is, I'm going to pull my source. Remember, this terminal was the long leg of this L.E.D bulb goes to the resistor. The resistor is not polarized. Insert this here. Don't forget that we explained breadboard. Check my previous video. You get the explanation for the breadboard here. Then I insert this. Let's see if this bulb will light up. I come here and insert this. Good. The bulb came up. Can you see? The bulb just came up. So that shows that we just made a closed circuit now. And because there is a light source involved, then we can say that that is a closed circuit. So if I take the power source off, of course the bulb will go off. Now, what am I trying to achieve here? I just want to see, if you look at this so closely, you see that when I insert the positive terminal or the positive cable, the light bulb came up, the LED bulb came up. Then when I took it off, what do you notice? The bulb went off immediately. Can you see? Now, what we are going to do here is, if we add a capacitor to it, the current flow is going to charge these capacitors such that when we remove the source, the amount of current remaining in the capacitor will now allow the lights to flow, or the lights to come on for a very short period of time. And that's exactly what we'll be doing now. I will take my jumper cables. I'll insert my jumper cables here. I'm going to put it at the extreme leg of the LED. That's a positive LED. We put that to, remember, that will be the positive of the capacitors. So if I do the same here, I'll do the same here, and I'll insert this here. Okay, I just want us to pay attention to the connection. Look at it. I have LED bulb. I have resistor rather. Now I have 3 capacitors in series. This is a serial connection of a capacitor. Why? Because capacitors in this is a parallel connection of a capacitor. Yeah, this is a parallel connection of a capacitor, because capacitors in parallel will be considered as C total equals C1 plus C2 plus C3. That is why this capacitor value is considered to be 300 microfarad, because even if you arrange it in parallel like this, the calculation will still be based on C total, which is CT, equals C1 plus C2 plus C3. So let us see if this will light up. Now, if I insert this directly at my source, this is the positive side of the LED. Can you see? The LED bulb came up. Now, the fact that we have even connected this shows that there's a current flow in the circuit, and it also goes around the capacitors in parallel. Remember, the value of these capacitors are what, 300 micro. It's not compulsory you arrange 3 capacitors together. No. These capacitors are connected across this circuit. I agree. You can just get a capacitor of 300 microfarad. Just one of it is fine. And we can even get a larger capacitor, which is maybe 500 microfarad. In fact, the larger the capacitor, the better it is to store charges, and the better it is for the experiment to show that the light bulb will gradually go off. Now let's see if this bulb will gradually go off. Can you see? The bulb gradually went off, but I can still tell you that this is still not good enough. Because if you use a capacitor of 500 ohm or 600 ohm, it will light off gradually. But let's see. Let's see again. It still went off, which is still about 60% good. Now, let us take off one capacitor. Now, we are working with a capacitor of 200 microfarad. The LED bulb is on. You will notice that the LED bulb will go off faster. Can you see? Now let us try for 100 ohm. Although, to be very sincere, you might not really notice it. It will look like for 200 and 300 ohm, the LED bulb went off almost the same pace. But let us see for 100. Do you notice something? 100 went off very fast. Can you see? So that shows that the higher the capacitor, the better it is for it to store the charge. And if you are working with a low resistor, then it can still permit some amount of current or some amount of charges to flow into the capacitor where it's going to be stored and discharged later. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much. Please do well to subscribe to this channel so that I get more updates on this. See you in my next class. Bye. Yeah.